All right. And hello and welcome to our 2024 chat.bsc admitted student chat. We are excited to be joining you. Welcome to my basement. We are working from home. I'm Trent Gilbert. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management here at the college, and I'm in charge of admissions and financial aid. And with me today is...
Hi, everybody. My name is Elena Elgin. I'm an admission counselor here at Birmingham Southern.
So we are excited you are joining us today. Thank you so much for taking time. We know that it has been a little bit of a crazy few weeks. It's been a crazy few weeks for you. It's been a crazy few weeks for us as well. The entire staff at Birmingham Southern is working from home right now. So we are all at home in our own work environments, and but we are still here and helping you navigate through this college search process. And we're excited to join you today. We are asked questions away in the chat section on your screen, and Elena is getting those, and Elena and I are just going to have a conversation and answer your question. So we're really excited. Elena, how are you doing today?
I'm good, making it. I went on a nice walk around the neighborhood with my dog and staying socially distant. and
Nice.
And doing what I got to do, washing my hands fervently. So
I know my hands are so dry from washing them so much, but because we are working from home, you may see children, you may see dogs, you may hear things, but we are just absolutely thankful for you to be with us today. So
awesome. Well, are you ready to go ahead and dive in?
Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm excited.
All right. Okay. Well, we've already gotten one question, well, actually really two questions, and they are revolving around the May 1st deadline. So it's kind of asking, is the deadline still May 1? Has it been pushed back?
Sure.
What's kind of BSC's policy on that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So our official deadline was May the 1st. I say that as a was. We shifted that to June the 1st. So we understand that it may take a little bit longer than you were planning with a disruption in your senior year in order to make your college decision. So we've gone on and recognized that, and we've shifted our deadline to June 1. Now, I will say, and Elena, you and I have had lots of conversations about this, right? If you know, students, hey, I want to go to BSC, you don't have to wait until the deadline. You don't have to wait until the day before the deadline. If you are still like, I think I want to go to BSC, go on and make your decision. We know there are some students out there that will make their decision utilizing that May 1 deadline, and we are totally, absolutely thrilled with that. But we also recognize the fact that there are students that will need a little bit of extra time, and those students that do, feel free to use that extra time. And if June 1 is not enough time, please just work with us, communicate with us, and we can definitely work with you in the process. But by and large, June 1 is the date. You're going to start seeing that in communication. But if you're ready, we are ready, because really what happens is we start communicating with you about different things once you pay that deposit. And so the sooner you pay that deposit, the closer to May 1 you pay that deposit, the more normal the process will go, as opposed to if you wait until June 1, we're going to take everything we're going to do in the month of May and we're going to consolidate it. So it will get a little chaotic after that. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I say, if you're ready, you're already bleeding black and gold, BSC colors, you're ready to come, go ahead and pay that deposit. It's not going to hurt you. And then, like Trent said, you can get a head start on the paperwork and signing up for orientation, which is going to be an awesome time this summer, and doing housing, all that kind of fun stuff that happens after you deposit. So you don't have to wait until June 1st, but you can.
Because the housing application is open. The housing application is open right now. So
it is.
So students that pay their deposit, they have the ability to go on and fill out their housing preference form and get all that kind of stuff taken care of.
Exactly. So, well, since we're kind of talking about deposits, the next question is, how much is this? We've just been saying deposit, but we haven't actually talked about how much the deposit is.
Sure. So our deposit for residential students that are going to be living on campus is $300. Students that are going to be commuting to campus, so living at home with a parent within a radius of campus, that deposit is $200. So it's so we always say it's a $300 deposit because the bulk of our students are residential students on campus. And so what that does is that secures you a spot on campus. It secures you a spot in our classes. And then again, it gives you access to start filling out that housing preference form. And then later on, after May the 1st, we'll start working on class registration and et cetera. So,
Exactly. Exactly. And you can find the deposit if you go to the BSC website, or you can Google. I always type in Birmingham Southern College deposit. It'll pull you right up to the page.
or you can
Um,
go to bsc.edu/deposit.
that is just as good.
See?
Probably a more direct way to get there.
And
And
through our miraculous of technology, there's probably a way somewhere in life, someone in just a few minutes will probably like put it like right down here on the chat. So
they might. They just might go ahead and put that link for you. So, and when you fill out the deposit, there is 2 steps to it. I will say there is the intent to enroll form, which you do need to fill out. If you want your super cool BSC thanks for depositing t-shirt, we can't get that to you until you fill out that intent to enroll form. So if you get that filled out and then you pay your deposit, you'll be good to go. You will be good to go. Okay. Wow. Moving on. The next questions, it is no surprise. We've gotten some questions about COVID-19 and all that's going on. So maybe you can touch a little bit, Trent, on what is going on campus. What are our students doing? The question we've gotten is, how are current students being supported? And as an incoming student, what can students expect to kind of see, or maybe what can we kind of touch on to show how we've responded and kind of the quality
sure.
of how we really prioritize our students on campus?
Yeah, great. I think that's a great question. So much like a lot of other institutions, we made the decision that it was in our students' best interest in order to send students home and shift our class process to working remotely. We did that literally the week before our students went on spring break. So our students had an extended 2-week spring break, allowing our faculty members time to transition their classes to an online learning platform. And then after the end of a 2-week spring break, we launched our classes online. That was this Monday. So classes resumed this Monday for spring semester, and they are going strong. One of the things that we've worked with students in terms of, some students couldn't get all their belongings out of the residence halls right away. That's okay. We worked with them. There's some students that are still coming back and getting things from the residence halls, but by and large, all of our students have departed campus at this point in time. We still have a really small number of students that maybe didn't have an opportunity to go home. We had one student that was actually interning at a pharmaceutical company here in Birmingham. And when all of this outbreak happened, the company he was working for is actually one of the companies administering the COVID-19 test and doing the lab work. And he actually got a full-time job like right away. And so he is finishing his semester and doing a full-time job. And we said, you can keep living in the apartments because you need to be here in order to kind of help support this public health crisis that we're having here in America. And so we did that. In terms of supporting our students right now, every few days there's been constant communication from the administration, from our student affairs and student life people. There's been constant that communication. My 5-year-old is trying to break in right now, so this could get fun. There is so there's been constant communication. Additionally, we actually this week, as we resumed classes, we are starting a weekly different thematic newsletter to our students. This week included he's about to come in my door. That's why all of a sudden I'm stumbling. This week included a whole bunch of, it's going to be like the guy on the BBC. This week included a whole bunch of links to ways to stay healthy, like Peloton's doing a 90-day free trial, just kind of helping students kind of stay connected, as well as information about the Writing Center and Tutoring Center. All those services are still happening. As we look ahead to the fall, our intention is, barring kind of this hopefully continuing to play out over the course of the next few weeks and settling down, our intention is to bring students back to campus in the fall like we would and start our academic year right on time. It is one of the things a small private liberal arts college is really about is about the people. It is about the community. And we have to figure out a way in order to replicate that and in order to allow students to have that. And so right now we're trying to replicate that. And then we're really trying to get, we want to resume that because we think that's really foundation to what we do and our mission and who we are. So.
Yeah, and I will say, I've solely seen via Instagram and all the different social medias that we're on, which that's a plug. If you're not following BSC admissions on Instagram, get on it. It's a really fun account. But we've had students that have been on there kind of in the past couple of days, really talking about the positive experience they're having with online learning. And being a small school where, yeah, you're meeting virtually, but you're Zooming or Skyping or whatever with 5 other people, the same 5 people you've been in class with. It's not the same as in person, but it's really different than Zooming, or just watching a lecture online, kind of that experience. So I will say, from what I see, the students, while we all wish we could be on campus, they're having a good time getting to Skype and Zoom their professors and staying in contact. Okay. All right. Are you ready for our next question?
Yep, ready.
It's from Emma. So how do we get the forms? I think she's talking specifically about scholarship agreement forms. Where do they go? How do they get them in? They can't bring them up to campus, so what do they need to be doing with them?
Yeah, great question. Any forms that you need to get back to us, we're obviously all still working. So if you have the ability to scan those and send them back to us, great. If you need to snap them on your phone and email them to your admissions counselor, we'll make sure they get to the right spot. You can also mail. We actually are still checking our mail on a daily basis and have someone going in and opening mail and scanning mail. And, we're definitely still opening and processing things. So however is best for you, just go on and get it to us. So in terms of scholarship forms, in terms of as you start getting paying your deposit, and then you start getting, hey, I have a health form and all that kind of stuff, you can hold on to those and bring those with you at either orientation or when it's time to move in, or we'll communicate with you about how to get those to us. But other forms, just go on, and any way you can, just get them back to us. Again, you can snap a photo of it and send that photo to to us, your admissions counselor, or you can just send it to admission@bsc.edu, and we'll make sure it gets to the right spot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially if it's a scholarship agreement form, go ahead and get those into us. We want to have them. We want to make sure you're accepting your scholarships before that June 1 deadline. So make sure you're getting those in. Okay. Let's get on to the important things like food, because that's what our next question is about. So Erica says, how's the food on campus? Kind of talking about dining options, off-campus dining. I'll tackle the off-campus dining if you want to tackle the on-campus dining option first.
Sure. Yeah. So starting next year, all of our students will have a unlimited swipe meal plan for our dining hall on campus that offers, breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the week. And on the weekends, it's like a brunch and dinner combination. Our food service, they pride themselves on locally sourced ingredients. They pride themselves on the fact that there are no freezers on campus. Everything is homemade. I will tell you that the gingerbread cookies at Christmas time are
they're so good.
They are so good. We have really good food. They are always, you can actually subscribe to an email that you get delivered every morning that actually gives you the menu. So like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll look at it and I'll be like, ooh, lunch in the caf today. And there's always a vegetarian/vegan option. There's always a pescatarian option. This year, our food service provider listens really carefully to what our students are saying they wanted. And it's interesting, as going into this past year, it was our students wanted more healthy options and they wanted more chicken fingers and macaroni and cheese. So, we added some more healthy options to the agenda this year, as well as every day at lunch and dinner, you can get chicken fingers and macaroni and cheese every day in the caf, and it is homemade macaroni and cheese. And so, I joke, I went down one time and I walked in there and I'm like, okay, there's oysters on the half shell in our dining hall. There's also, they do some special treats along the way in the dining hall. In addition to that, we're also opening up this spring. So next fall, we'll open up a Panther Perk coffee shop. So it'll be a coffee shop, as well as, if you think about it, a little bit like a coffee shop and pastries and sweets, all right there. And then there is also the attic over in our residential area that has a convenience store, as well as food options there as well, with a rotating thematic opportunity there. But again, we have unlimited swipes going into this year. I would say, and it's what I say about our food service, it's not mom's home cooking, but it is really good institutional food. And I have eaten in a lot of dining halls over the years. So.
I'll vouch for it too. I love their mac and cheese. I eat in the calf every Friday because they do $5 Friday for faculty and staff. And y'all, that mac and cheese is awesome. It's a really
It
good
is.
mac and cheese. Their food is really, really phenomenal. But I'll touch a little bit on off-campus dining because I'm a foodie through and through. I was born and raised in the Birmingham area, moved back here about 2+ years ago, and the food scene is awesome. Any kind of food you want, I guarantee you that there is food here. A lot of people don't realize that Birmingham, it's a big city. It's the largest city in the state. And therefore, there's a lot of different dining options, whether you like international food from all over the world, whether you want like that home cooked fried chicken and greens and mac and cheese, whatever you want. We got it. And it is awesome. I think most of my salary goes to food, unfortunately. But, but I'm happy because of it. So you will never go hungry. I promise. Birmingham, it is just a really cool place. And I'll plug a little bit for the city in itself. It is cool being at a school. We are a smaller school with 1,300 students, but we're in a big city. I mean, like Trent was saying, that example of that student that was interning at a pharmaceutical company and then because of the outbreak got a job out of it. That doesn't happen when you're at a small school in, a more rural location. So, the location of where we are is prime, not only to food, the most important thing, but also to internships, experiences, all that kind of stuff.
And I also think about like cultural events and sporting events. I mean, Birmingham, there's a lot of if you're looking at small private liberal arts colleges, I think you really need to weigh location. And one of the things that we have that a lot of other places cannot talk about is we have this phenomenal city that has become a tech center. It has become a business startup. It is definitely a city that is moving in a very positive direction. I moved to Birmingham like 9 months ago now, and every single day I discover something new and awesome about the city, and I'm just like, it's so phenomenal.
I always tell people in all the info sessions we do, when I was growing up in Birmingham, I used to call it Boringham because it felt like nothing to do. And I lived in the suburbs of Birmingham. I didn't really know. And when I moved away, I was that student that was like, all right, bye, see you never. And having moved back here 2 years ago, I eat my words. Every day I live downtown now. There is stuff going on all the time. Well, not right now, but normally there is stuff going on all the time.
There's a lot going on. It's called medical treatments. And
exactly. Yeah. But the city is growing drastically. There has been a huge economic boom that's come through, and we have baseball teams, soccer teams, food. We have sporting events, music venues, all that kind of stuff. So it is a really cool place to be.
Well, and I also think one of the other things that makes Birmingham so cool is the fact that like it's this tech center. It's become this tech center with, Shipped having their headquarters here, and then a handful of other organizations. But then also you have just the city of Birmingham has become this medical center. And this medical city, and one of the hospitals in Birmingham is actually one of the 5 or 10 hospitals in the world.
It's one of the
10 hospitals testing a COVID-19 treatment. This is a place where, that is within 7 minutes of campus. And so this is a place where, there's that safe opportunity for, God forbid, if something like this happens again. The city of Birmingham has responded to this COVID outbreak in a way that a lot of other major cities, I think, will look back at and say, why didn't we do it more like Birmingham? And I think one of the reasons why is because the city and the hospitals and the healthcare community here are so intertwined and interconnected that I think that's really helped us make this be a safe place for our students. We were in conversation with what's happening at the hospital and what feedback the infectious disease specialists there had as we're making decisions about what to do with our students. So that is all of this right here in the city. So we started on food and we ended on healthcare. So that was a good segue somehow or another.
It is. Well, I think it does. It speaks volumes to no matter what you're wanting to study. If you are thinking, I want to be a doctor, that's all I want to be, you don't have to go to the big state school and have the same opportunities. You can go to a school like BSC that's in a city that links up with other bigger schools in the city to get that experience, which is awesome. So I don't think so. All right, let's see. Let's move on to our next question. This kind of pertains to what we're talking about. So this is from Claire, who says, what would you say to someone who's trying to decide between staying local or going to another state for school?
Yeah, I think that's great, and not knowing where Claire's from, right? Yeah, I think that's part of it. Is, I think that you have to do, when you're thinking about your college decision process, you have to do what's going to make you and your family the most comfortable. One thing that I can tell you is that we're providing this incredibly safe community for our students. We're taking care of our students. One of the things that you get by going to a small private liberal arts college like Birmingham Southern is you get that personal attention. You get that if something goes wrong, you get a group of caring and supportive people that are there to help you. And so I think it really depends on maybe what other institutions you're looking at, but that's really going to be a personal choice for you. I think that there is a home out there for everyone, and you have to it's where you and your parents and collectively as a family, you feel more comfortable attending a school. But I can tell you that BSC is a place where, we're going to take care of you. It's a safe place both physically, but it's also a safe place to debate ideas. It's a safe place to, to challenge your thought. And to me, that's an important environment to look for when you're looking at a college, is where can you have not only physical safety, but where can you have that intellectual safety as well?
Because that's the way you grow. I mean,
yeah.
If you can't express ideas, you're not going to ever grow. And Claire, we don't know where you're from, so it's kind of hard to answer in some ways. But I mean, I echo everything Trent said. At the end of the day, you have to choose what's the best fit for you, what's the best fit for your family, and if that means leaving the state, if that means going 15 minutes down the road. I think a lot of times students get stuck in this, okay, let's say you're from Birmingham. Oh, I can't stay in this city. I've got to get out. Whereas, if you're from Birmingham, you've got access to an incredible city and an incredible school right here. If that's the right fit, that's the right fit. If it's not, it's not. But it really has to be a personal decision about what's best for you, and where can you see yourself? Where can I grow here? Can I challenge myself here?
And I hope that answer helps. But Claire, if it doesn't, reach out to your admissions counselor, reach out to me. We're more than happy to sit and have a one-on-one conversation with anyone about your specific wants and needs and how we may or may not help you. The one thing that I never want to do is I never want to tell someone this is a place for everyone, because it's not. It's okay if you realize, man, that's not the place for me. And that's totally okay. But I don't want to tell someone something and them come to BSC and be unhappy and leave. I ultimately, the work that we do every day is not about recruiting and enrolling new students. It's about enrolling graduates to the institution. In reality, we shouldn't be called the admissions office. We should be the Office of Future Alumni Enrollment, because ultimately that's what we want. This isn't a 1-year decision. To me, this is a 4-year, where am I going to go spend the next 4 years of my life? And we want to help you individually navigate that. And whether that's personally, whether that's whatever financially, whatever your concerns are, we want to help you through that process. And so please, please, please reach out to, like I said, reach out to your admissions counselor if you have a relationship there. Reach out to me. I'm happy to have those conversations via video with students and their parents. I mean, we all want to help you navigate this. And if you say this is my wants and we don't check those, all of our staff, myself included, are going to say, maybe we're not the right spot for you, and it's okay, and that's an okay thing to do. So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, on a little bit of a lighter note, this is, are freshmen allowed to have cars on campus?
You take it.
Yes, please. You're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to have a car on campus. There's plenty of parking. Campus, once you're on campus, it's 200 plus acres that you really can park your car. You can walk anywhere on campus. We have our main kind of dormitory quad, and then we kind of have where all of our classrooms are located in educational buildings. So once you're on campus, you don't really need a car. So if you don't have a car, you're not in trouble by any means. There's also a bus stop right outside of BSC. So if you want to catch the bus or take it's like what, a $2 Uber ride downtown. And once you're downtown, you can walk everywhere. So it really is up to you, but absolutely you're welcome to have a car if that's something you're, wanting to do or bring.
And I think our parking pass is like very reasonable. I think it's like $70 a year. Or something
yeah.
Like, there's students we talk to all the time. Like, I paid more in high school for my parking pass. I'm like, welcome to BSC.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Okay. So Nicholas is asking a really great question, kind of relating to everything that's been going on with COVID, but he's asking, is orientation still going to occur at this point? If not, what's kind of going to be the deal?
Yeah. And Elena actually has those orientation dates, so we can give those out to you guys in just a little bit. But yes, at this point in time, we're still hoping to have orientation on campus. But we continue to take our advice from the CDC, county health officials, the NIH, all of those different sources out there. And so if we make a decision that we're going to have to do something alternatively, we're going to communicate that to you all just as soon as we know it. Whether that's something online, whether that's online paired with, more days in the fall, like I don't even know what that looks like at this point in time. Really, I've been telling people, really kind of we're looking at things, things are moving and progressing at such a rapid rate in terms of decision-making processes, much like many of your all's high schools are just now making decisions about things that are happening at the end of the year. We're in that exact same boat as an institution. So we're really looking right now at kind of like, what are we doing for the rest of April? What is May looking like? And so we kind of continue rolling this out. But, we're in conversations in terms of planning of what happens if, but our hope is always to try to get things back to a sense of normalcy just as quick as we can. But we also know that may not be a feasibility given the conditions. And so we're going to continue working with those officials. We're going to continue reading the data that's out there and having conversations with the people that we know that I always say it's great to have people that you can pick up a phone that are much smarter than you about a topic, and we have those people, and we're going to make decisions. But we're first and foremost, we're going to make sure that all of our students, all of our current students, all of our new incoming students, and all of our staff are safe. So we're never going to do something that's going to put you in a position where you wouldn't be, and far as from our vantage point. And so we will communicate that to you if the plan changes, and just as soon as it does change, we'll make sure we communicate that to you.
Absolutely. And those dates, just so you guys have them, I'm looking at my paper, are June 12th, 13th, and 20th. And then if you're a transfer student, it's going to be July 18th. So, yeah, go ahead and mark those down. Like Trent said, we will, I promise, be in communication with you as soon as we have an update or details or whatever that is. We try really hard to get that moving. So, well, since we're already talking about this, I'll go ahead and plant this question because I know a lot of students are asking it. But, at this point, is there any anticipation of classes being online in the fall? Should students be even worried about that? Kind of, what can you say to kind of help ease anxieties?
I go back to the comment that I made a little while ago. We want to return to normalcy just as soon as it's feasible and safe in order to do that. And so we certainly hope that is sometime before the fall. That is our hope. That is definitely our intention. At the same time, administratively, like I would say we're throwing a lot of things out on the table, just like you are. We're throwing a lot of those questions out on the table. And there aren't answers to those at this point in time, but we continue to have that dialogue and that conversation. But our hope, my hope, is we are going to resume in the fall just like we would in the fall of 2020 without COVID-19. And so that's our hope. That's our plan. We continue to make plans for that. And if those plans do happen to change, we're definitely going to communicate that out to everyone. But again, we're in this kind of like 6 to 8 week rolling process as things come up in terms of where we're looking at the curve, right? Everyone knows all about the curve, I feel like. And so we're looking at that curve as part of the process.
Yeah. And, now is a great time. If you don't know who your admission counselor is yet, or you're like, oh, maybe I got an email or something like that. Now is a great time to figure out who it is on our staff. And befriend them. We want to be your friend. We want to
answer
talk
their
to
phone
you.
calls,
Answer our
return their
phone
text
calls.
messages, check
We
your
write
email.
we write you letters. You can write us a letter back. I mean, I don't know, but no, now is really good time. If you have questions or you're getting nervous or you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I just, I have a question about this. No question is a bad question. We might respond, I don't know, but let me connect you to somebody that will. We're still working. We're still doing our jobs. So we're here and happy to help you guys with whatever questions pop up. If we don't get to your question on this, this conversation, feel free to email us. We are here and happy to help. So anything else you want to add to that? I think we're good. We can move on to the next one.
I think that's good. Yep.
A lot of you guys are asking about registration. How do I register for classes? What do I do? What do I need to be doing? Should I be registering? All of that wonderful chaos and confusion.
Yeah. So after you pay your deposit, I mean, here's what's going to happen. After you pay your deposit, you get this phenomenal brochure, Becoming a BSC Student. I can't remember the name of it. If I was sitting at my desk, I'd be able to like hold it up and show it to you. But mine's sitting on my desk at the office. And but in there, it kind of walks you through some steps. There's a whole bunch of then forms you have to fill out. You have to fill out, hey, I need to get a medical form completed. I'm going to need to do vaccines. One of those forms on there is also a information about kind of course preferences, course selection. And so you will actually go on and fill that out. And then what we do, and this is the beauty of being a small private liberal arts college, is we actually then go and hand create your kind of first year schedule, working with you, working with the information you have there. And we're going to go through and if we're going to make a first pass, and I would tell you, 85% of the time we hit it right, and people look at that and they're like, oh man, it's like they knew me. And I'm like, well, we kind of hoped we know you because we know a lot about you and you've told us a lot about you. But we don't hit it 100% of the time. So if you get that and you're like, this isn't right, or did you guys not see my math credit? I got a 5 on that AP exam, whatever it happens to be. It's not like it's chiseled in stone. We have some flexibility. We have some ability to move that. And we'll work with you and work with you in order to make sure it's right. Before classes start or shortly after classes start, we're gonna work with you through that process. So that's really how registration goes. And that, again, part of that is during that orientation process that can come as part of it as well. But you're gonna want to fill out that academic questionnaire that is part of that process.
Yep, absolutely. And oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. I was going to make a great point about registration, but it's gone.
It's all right. It'll come back to you when we're talking about
we'll be talking about food or something else again, and I'll remember it. So,
but can I point something out? Because I just briefly touched on it, and I think it's important. Your students are going to get an email about this in the coming days. We're trying not to like completely overload and bombard you, but a question that I've gotten a lot recently is, the College Board AP exams and what's going on with AP exams, and is BSC going to change this AP policy? The answer to that, the quick and very simple answer to that is no. We are not changing our AP policy, which means if you take the at-home AP exam that is a shortened open note online digital exam and you score a score that meets on our chart as it relates to course equivalency, we're going to go on and give you that credit. So there's some schools out there that are going back and saying, well, wait a minute, this isn't the test that we thought it was going to be, so we're changing our policy. We don't think you should be punished for the fact that the test has to change and the fact that your senior year has gotten truncated slightly and you've shifted to now having to teach yourself the rest of the AP course content. Or working via the online and different teaching formats. So we are maintaining our commitment to you. We're maintaining our AP course policy. Again, an email is going to be coming out likely next week, and it'll actually link you off to where you can find our AP course policy. But just know and have the reassurance from Birmingham Southern College, we are not going to be adjusting our AP policy because the College Board adjusted the AP test this year.
Exactly. And same with I've gotten a lot of questions about IB. Obviously we're going to take it. We're not going to change anything or punish you because of the way that things have happened. Right. So we have a wonderful woman who works on our campus. Her name is Kim Lewis. And she's already prepared. I've talked to her personally about, we're just going to have to take things as they come, and we're not going to punish students for the way the dice kind of fell. So
Right.
don't let that be an anxiety of yours right now. At least for us, we're gonna work with you hand in hand to make sure it all works out. So don't let that be a worry. Okay, Amy asks, I just paid my deposit. Awesome. What is the next step? What do I need to do now?
Quick next step is you're going to get something in the mail from us, and we are still mailing things out of our office twice a week. So mail is still continuing to run out of our office. You're going to get that packet that I talked to you about. Your admissions counselor is going to be in touch with you. And the other thing is you're going to get an awesome thank you for paying your deposit, some swag, because who doesn't love swag?
Everybody.
And everybody loves some swag. And so at this point in time, go and be proud of the fact that you made your college decision process, and go and celebrate it, and just keep your eye. I think the key for students right now is keep your eye on your email. Our our staff is gonna be texting you and letting you know all the way through this process what you need to do, when you need to do it, and so that's where we're at this point in time.
Exactly. Yep. And again, like I said, go ahead, pay your deposit. We're ready. We're excited. We want to get those things mailed out to you.
Welcome to the BSC family.
And you get a cool t-shirt. It's awesome. I have something in front of my screen, so I can't. Oh, I love it. I love it. Nice. Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. So, pay it. We want you to have the free t-shirt. It's really comfortable. I will say so this year. Okay, Jessica, this is a great question. What advice would you give to first gen students coming in? What's kind of what would you say?
Yeah, I think it's the one thing that I always tell students, and this doesn't mean if you're first gen or not, but I think especially it's important to hear this, and we all need to hear this. It's okay to not know. Even when I went away to college, my parents, hadn't been to college in 20, 30 years. And so there's that moment where it's like, oh, this is what you're going to do in college. And I'm like, you're so wrong, because you went to college 30 years ago and a lot has changed in 30 years or however long ago it was. And so I think the key for everyone is just ask questions. Understand that there's resources for you. To me, it's important for everyone to understand, there's a writing center, there's a tutoring center, there's counseling center, there's health services, all of that exists. And if you have a concern or you have a question, and this goes for anyone, ask that question. There is no such thing as a dumb question or a stupid question. Also, we can be as helpful as we know how to be. And so what I mean by that is, if we don't, as admissions or as the college, if we're not telling you something and you're like, I really need to know the answer to that, I think that's an important thing. I think, and I could be wrong, Elena, maybe you know the answer to this, but I think there's also some first generation student programming that we have, and some organizations on campus. Do you know more about that?
I know a little bit about it. So, but just because I know one of our interns was actually the president of it this last year, and she's awesome. So it was a group of students. It started up last year, I believe. So this was their first full year kind of being a cohesive group. They call themselves 1G, first gens, and they're awesome. They are a support system. They have a faculty sponsor that, checks in with them, says, hey, how are things going? What questions do you have? First gen questions are going to be a little bit different just by the nature of the questions you have. You've never had a family member go through this. Again, no question is a bad question at all. So ask away. But once you're on campus, there is extra support if you are first gen and saying, hey, I just, I need a little extra help. I need to kind of have somebody help me guide me through this process. Even once you're on campus, there's still that support for you. And
my dog is really excited that you're interested in BSC.
You can hear her.
Can you guys hear Ellie barking in the background? The joys of working from home. I am not in a quiet environment by any sense of imagination. So.
I'm shocked. My dog, I don't know where she is. Usually she has barked barking out of control. So I am absolutely shocked that she has not made an appearance yet. No. Okay, well, our next kind of questions.
Hey, and so the other thing, I'll make a shameless plug right there. Shameless plug. If you go to 2024.bsc.edu, every week we're releasing new content, and that's a great way to kind of learn more about what's happening at BSC and get some of your questions answered. The other thing is free swag alert. Every week we have some free where you can enter to win daily, and then every week we're drawing for a new prize. There's also a grand prize of a $500 Amazon gift card, as well as you can actually join for students, we have a class of 2024 BSC Facebook group. You can get to that. It's linked off of that link that was right here. You can go to the Facebook group, that link right there. Thanks. Our back office production team. So if you go there, you can actually get to the student Facebook group. You can request access to join. We'll process you through. Introduce yourself, students. You know, we've made the attempt. We would love for you to just kind of pop in there, post a couple photos, introduce yourself, get connected with some other students. We're not there to necessarily moderate a conversation. We're there in order to provide a forum and a place for you to meet each other. And so that's another great way and a great resource for all of our students. So
absolutely. Don't be shy on that group. You know, really, this is a great time to especially now that everything's digital, everybody's stuck at home, everybody's doing their own social distancing. Use it as a way to meet people, meet your new roommate, meet your new classmate. It's a really fun thing once everybody kind of buys in. So don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself.
Yes.
I will send someone a free t-shirt if they go online right after this and they enter one person that goes online this evening on the Facebook group and introduces themselves and posts like 5 photos of themselves and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. Da, 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 da. So,
or TikTok. I've gotten really into TikTok lately and all the dancing moves you could do. If you post a cool
old
TikTok,
guy, I don't get it.
If you post a cool TikTok, I'll show Trent what it is and he'll send you a video.
Okay. All right. So a piece of BSC swag coming to one person that posts and introduce themselves on the Facebook group or posts a cool TikTok video when I figure out what in the world TikTok is.
Exactly. Okay. Well, our next question, we kind of just touched on roommates. So it's about housing. You know, what does the housing situation look like for freshmen? How do I find a roommate? What in the world are we supposed to do with that?
So I'm going to go through the roommate part, and you go, Elena, I'll let you talk about kind of what the housing options are. Sure. You're going to get, once you pay your deposit, you get access to a housing preference form. That housing preference form, here's the trick. Here's my secret. Don't tell anyone. Students, do not let your parents fill that out. You need to fill it out, and you need to be honest. It's going to ask you questions. I like to get up late. I like to study when it's quiet. I like a clean room. Inevitably, the biggest problems come from students whose mom or dad fills that out and be like, I want Trent to be really clean, so I'm going to say he's clean. And Trent is far from clean, right? And so that then creates roommate conflict. So we will then hand match and hand pair you with a roommate, and we'll give you that roommate assignment, and you'll get that roommate assignment in July. If for whatever reason you know someone that's coming to BSC and you want them to be your roommate, you have the ability to put them down and say, this is who I want my roommate to be. Both people have to put it down in order for that roommate match to happen. The other piece of advice I will say is if your best friend in the whole wide world is coming to BSC as well, it may not be the best idea to be roommates. I'll just leave it at that.
I'll echo it. I will echo it. Especially your first year.
Yes.
That's all I'll say. For the sake of your friendship, it might be. It might be. Okay. So I'll talk a little bit about the housing options that are on campus. So freshman year, which there's a follow-up question is, are you required to live on campus freshman year? The answer is yes, unless you live within, the driving radius, which we're happy to talk about if you have a question of, am I in that radius? Am I not? Call us, give us a text, an email, we'll happily answer. But otherwise, yes, you are required to live on campus. And the freshman, I always say it's like your typical what you see on the movies experience. So it's you and your roommate, you're sharing a room. It's 2 twin beds, but they're big rooms. Like it's not the tiny little cramped rooms. They're really nice rooms. Every room has, 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 dressers, and you really get to style it up. I know a lot of people have a lot of fun. Usually come July, early August, they've got like color coordinated rooms, and it's a whole fun thing. So that's kind of what the situation looks like for freshmen.
And I think the other thing is we're working on, so we know that you may have been like, oh, I really want to see these residence halls. We're working on getting with some of our current students and trying to get them to go through their camera roll and find the photos they have taken of the rooms. And we're actually trying to put together like a photo album for you to then post. So once we get that pulled together, we will definitely get that out to you all as part of the process. So
yeah, absolutely. Our next question is kind of about incoming credits. So, somebody saying, what's your credit policy? I've taken a bunch of dual enrollment, early college program. What does that look like for me?
Yeah, so it looks different for every single student. We're going to look at the transcripts we already have and give you credit for those. If you're currently enrolled in something, we're going to look at that part of the process as well. So we're looking, the beauty of it is we have a lot of that stuff already. So we're doing that when we go to put you into courses. And so we're going to give you credit for those courses if you've taken them and there's an applicable course. Sometimes you get just credit. Sometimes you get credit towards a class. And it really just depends on the actual class. So, you may get, hey, you're going to get this as an elective credit, and that goes toward your credits to graduation. Other times it's going to be like you get credit for this class. So it really just depends on what that class was, the grade you got in that class, a handful of other components associated with it. But we can definitely, on an individual basis, help answer those questions.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, our another question is coming in from Bia. So she's asking about kind of the different majors. How can she create her own major if that's something she's interested in? Kind of what does that look like? Is she going to be left to just do it all on her own? Is she going to have help? We can talk a little bit about that.
You want to take it?
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll absolutely take it. So you're more than welcome to create your own major. So right now we have over 50 different majors. So if you're kind of curious, I know sometimes people are like, you don't have marketing. And we're like, well, marketing is a part of our business major. So if it's something like that where you're like, maybe what do I do? Contact your admission counselor. We're happy to go into the nitty-gritty details. If it's something you're like, look, I really, really just want to make my own, you're more than welcome to do that as well. We have interdisciplinary studies all the time that students go, you have an advisor, even if you're undeclared, you are given an advisor from day one. So the minute you enroll in BSC, you have a person on campus, a faculty member that's there to help guide you through the process. Even if you are dead set on being, a veterinarian from day one, and that's what you end up graduating with, awesome. I changed my major 5 times when I was in college. So I definitely needed advisors. So that's what they're there for. So if you do decide, hey, I want to build my own major, you and your advisor, you sit down, there's a process that you go through. I don't want to speak to that because I don't know all the ins and outs of the exact process, but I do know there is one, so that you're never going to be left to just say, well, good luck. Hope you get it done in 4 years. Bye. It's going to be a built out program.
And I think the other thing about, like, when you think about what you want to study, I think one of the things is don't try to think about, like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I think the key is do something that you're passionate about. And because to me, college is about teaching you how to learn. It's about teaching you how to ask questions. It's about teaching you how to think. It's about teaching you how to challenge ideas. And, one of the things that I talk to students a lot about is this concept of an academic bridge, right? And so you can take 2 seemingly disjointed things at a liberal arts college. You can study both of them, and then you can build this bridge that connects the 2 of them that is uniquely who you are. And so, definitely don't be thinking like, oh, I know I want to go into business, so I have to major in business. I'm like, no, you don't. I mean, yeah, sure you can, or you can go and take some business classes, and you can also take those, music classes or those art classes or those history classes, because, you want to have that joint passion about these things. So take something you're interested in, take something you're passionate about. no one majors in college admissions, but we've both made careers out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so, never in my wildest dreams when I went to college did I think I'd be a college administrator, but here I am. And so, don't let a major dictate necessarily what your future plans are.
Right, exactly. I was just about to say, I think about our office. We have people. My bachelor's degree is in business. My master's degree is in business. But we have computer programming. We have marketing. We have management. We have Maddie, who
political science.
Like, my thought immediately went to Maddie, who just graduated from BSC, now works in our office. She has a degree in business and music because she was passionate about both, and works in college admissions. So definitely, when you're picking a major, do something you're passionate about or at least interested in, wanting to make sure you're getting to grow. That's the whole point of college. Pick something that's going to allow you to grow and develop. And if we don't have it on paper, totally fine to make it as well. So, okay, Jenna asks our next question about transfer students. Are they required to live on campus? Do they have the same meal plan? Is there a commuter meal plan? What does that look like?
Yes, no, yes. No, just kidding. It really, so our transfer students, obviously we're a residential college. We love students to live on campus, but we know that, especially for some of our transfer students, depending on where they are in the process, depending on their age, depending on where they're transferring from, a whole bunch of other circumstances, we understand that. If you're not living on campus, so yes, a student has the opportunity to live on campus. A student also, just like our freshmen, have an opportunity to commute to campus. Students that are not physically living on campus, there is a commuter meal plan. I don't think it's called a commuter meal plan. It is called hold on, I actually have a piece of paper here. It is the 150 block plan. And that gives you 150 meals during the course of the semester, as well as some Panther bucks, which can be used at a bunch of other places. And so you are required to have that meal plan, really, because it's kind of that mindset of you're going to be on campus during the lunchtime hour, likely. And so we want to make sure you have the ability to eat in the dining hall while you're on campus. So I think did I cover like all the aspects of that question?
Okay. Yeah, that's a great one. The next question is kind of, what is the price? Like, how much is it going to cost me to go to BSC before scholarship is applied? What am I looking at?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for freshmen, really what we're looking at for next year, when we look at tuition, we look at fees, which there's an IT fee and an SGA fee. We look at room, so you living on campus, and we look at meals. When we look at all of that, our total direct cost is $31,800, and that's all before scholarship. So when our students, as if you've been admitted, you're aware, when you're admitted to the college, we review your application immediately for our presidential scholarship. So that immediately kind of comes off of the top of that, so to speak. And then some of you all have applied for additional scholarships. There may even be some juniors in this chat. You'll have the opportunity to apply for some additional scholarships. And then we encourage you to fill out your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. There we go. It's a tongue twister on a Thursday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and so you fill that out, and that then lets us know if you're eligible for any other state or federal monies, as well as we also have some additional institutional money that you may be eligible for, and so we then put together a financial aid package for you. Once you get that financial aid package, you'll really have a good understanding and a good idea of what it would cost for you to enroll at the college, and that gives you that picture, as well as then methods to pay. So it'll also give you opportunities for loans. You can also set things up on a payment plan. So we have a no interest payment plan that you can actually put yourself on, and you can actually spread each semester payments out over 5 months. So if you think about, this is how much my out-of-pocket is going to be for the year, you can divide that by 10, and you can put it on 10 monthly payment plans. For for a $45 a semester fee, that's when I feel a little sketchy. But in reality, because there's no interest, we're charging you a $45 fee per semester. We're actually not charging it. The company that runs our payment plan process charges you that. So
yeah, exactly.
What I miss, Elena, in that?
No, I think that's great. You know, I will say filling out the FAFSA is FAFSA. I never know which way it is. The FAFSA. Doesn't matter. Filling it out is incredibly important. Even if you feel like I'm not going to qualify, what's the point? It is always worth it. I promise. Because we're a private school, we can help look at that. We look at the financial aid statement very, very seriously. We look at the FAFSA very seriously. So if you haven't done that yet, go do it today. It's still open. It's not too late. So do it. It's important. And I will say too, most of our students receive some scholarship. So if you're sitting here today and you're like, man, I really want to apply. Maybe you haven't applied yet. It's not too late. Come on. It's not too late at all. So Trent, we have like 7 minutes left, which is crazy. So I kind of want to, for people that have maybe jumped on, we've kind of already touched on this, and then we'll get to our last question, but let's just reiterate, what do I need to do now? What do I do now? I've been admitted. Yeah. What now?
Awesome. You've been admitted. So now really it's about trying to figure out what you need in order to make your decision on where you should go to college. And we hope that's going to be Birmingham Southern. And so what you need to do is you need to, first and foremost, I would send you to 2024.bsc.edu. That's our admitted student site where we release new content every single week. You can also enter to win some good swag. That'll give you an opportunity to learn a little bit more in depth about different aspects of the college. Every Tuesday, there's a new piece of content that comes out about that. Additionally, you can join the admitted student Facebook group right there from that page, and that'll get you hopefully connected with some other students that are, look at that, black and gold love here on Forward Ever Day. It'll get you some opportunity to hopefully meet some other students in that Facebook group as well. If you decide, hey, BSC is the place for me, I would like to pay my deposit, I want to enroll, you need to go to bsc.edu/deposit, and you can pay your $300 housing deposit or your $200 enrollment fee, depending on if you're going to be a commuter or not. And that'll confirm your spot in the class. Our deposit deadline, we have shifted because of the COVID-19. We've shifted our deposit from May 1 to June 1, but that doesn't mean you need to wait until June 1 in order to pay it. You can pay that deposit at any point in time. Once you do, that's going to open you up housing. That's going to open you up opportunity to fill out housing paperwork. That's going to open you up opportunity for a whole bunch of other paperwork in order to get you signed up, and as well as looking forward toward orientation. We have a summer orientation on the books. Those dates are
June 12th, 13th, and 20th.
And so we're still hoping at this point in time to have those on campus, but if that shifts, we'll let you know. Oh, look, there's the dates right there.
Love it.
Ooh, look at that. And so those are really the next steps. That's really what you need to be doing right now. And the other piece, in addition to those sites, if you're struggling and trying to figure out, is BSC the right place for me? Reach out to your admissions counselor, reach out to myself. We're more than happy to help you navigate this process. If you have questions and you say, hey, I really want to talk to someone in psychology, and we can get you hooked up with talking to someone in psychology. I really want, we know you can't do that right now in person in terms of coming and visiting us on campus. And we're saddened by that. But at the same time, we want to create those virtual experiences for you. So please, please, please just communicate with us what you need to know in order to make your decision. And we're happy to help you out in that process.
Mm-hmm. Same with if you've already deposited and you're thinking, okay, what do I do next? Call us, contact us. We have a whole list of things for you to do. So
exactly.
let us know. Okay. Well, this is the last question because we've got 3 minutes left. I don't know if we're going to be able to answer this in 3 minutes, but it's from Ray. And she says, in 5 words, what makes BSC so special?
5 words. I'm like now trying to
I can't think of just 5
as I'm doing this, right? Is this like a sentence or just 5 words in general? I'm gonna use my own interpretation of this one.
Yes,
so, and is it 5 words each, or are we splitting our 5 words, Elena? That's
no. You do, Trent. You know what? Okay. Just give us, why is BSC so special?
The people. Mm-hmm. So people, Birmingham, mm-hmm. Opportunities, safety, and the outcomes.
Mm-hmm. I think those are great. Mine are gonna, gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to think of mine that quickly, but I'm gonna say experiences. I mean, the e-term, which we didn't get to touch on in this, like that is experiences / e-term is huge. People, professors, it's kind of double dipping, but it's whatever. Birmingham, I mean, huge bonus. And from here to anywhere, I mean, you leave BSC, you can go do anything. That's not me just exaggerating or being, promoting BSC. It is really amazing what I have seen. I've worked for the school for 2 years now, what I have seen students go out and do. They come back and they're like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. And I'm like, that's awesome. How? And they're just like, oh, I did this internship. I met this person. My professor knew somebody. It happens. And BSC students are better for it. We're a better school because of the alumni that start right where you guys are. They asked all the same questions that you guys asked and chose BSC and have gone so many awesome places.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we are at time. We are so thankful and appreciative for everyone tuning in today. Some important dates are shuffling around. So our deposit deadline of June 1, go to that admitted student site. Our next live chat for admitted students is going to be on April 21st at 3 p.m. And that is going to be an opportunity to chat with some students. We're going to have a group of students on here that are going to be part of the live chat. So thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Stay safe, wash your hands, and take care of yourself and someone else.
Exactly. Bye, guys.